So I've come out today to re-establish an old campsite that I had out in the boonies here for a while. It kind of got bulldozed when they did a bunch of logging, but I found a new spot not too far away. Now this is a Dave fire. It's a couple of decent sized logs, which we're going to preheat obviously. A lot of people, they go on about this tinder and that tinder. Right in the middle of there you'll see there's a nice cotton ball, and underneath that is a whole pile of old bank receipts. Like when you go to the store and you get all those nice paper receipts that everybody just screws up and throws away, I actually roll those up and stick them in my pack, because a piece of dry paper is always invaluable, so not a bad idea to have that stuff with it. So, quick guided tour of my new camp. Consists of a log and a fire pit so far. Right, that log is very heavy. That is pine and ridiculously heavy. I had to roll it and lift it and huff and puff. Yeah. Now there's quite a few bears around this particular area, so I have my bear spray and what have you very handy. It's always wise. Fire kit. I have a little fire roll that I keep in there. That's all nice and waterproof, and there's all kinds of things in there that'll catch fire and start a fire. And as anybody knows that does this regularly, you need many ways of lighting a fire. It will keep you alive when pretty much nothing else will. So. Right. I have all kinds of goodies with me today, so that will do for now. One spark onto a cotton ball, literally one spark, and away we go. That's enough to get some heat going in there. I like to make what I call a V-shaped fire sometimes, because it gives the wood's a little wet. So you put the two logs on the side like that. Always a good idea to have a fire ring around, even though we are pretty well wet as hell out here at the moment. It's a good idea to have a fire ring and not let the fire get too big. But if you build a fire between the two V's like that, it dries those logs out, and they'll take some good heat, and they'll really get going. Right, I need to pay attention because I need to put some slightly bigger bits in there just to get some coals going. Once the coals are going, the fire will take care of itself. Right, that'll do. Well, fire's going. Feet are up. Tea in hand. Birds are making all kinds of lovely noises in the tree. Clouds are still a bit. Yeah. Forest is looking good. Everything's all set up. Looking nice. It's time for tea. Gotta have tea. Can't come out. Oh dear, excuse me. Can't come out in the middle of nowhere and not have a cup of tea. It's absolutely vital. The world can survive on a campfire and tea. Not necessarily in that order, but yeah, it's good. Right, I want to let that fire die down a bit, because those two V-shaped logs are also going to do another thing. They're also going to support my pot when I boil up some water, and I make myself an oatmeal here, so that'll be nice. Right. Right, it's a bit later in the day. It's supposed to be a nice sunny day today, however. The clouds don't necessarily agree. That's not a bad thing though, because it's supposed to rain tonight, which makes sure all this will get soaked down. I do have a large water supply with me now, so I have at least 5 gallons of water I can put on there when I finish, so that's good. Always make sure your fire is out. Soak it, stir it, soak it again, make sure it is really out, because you'll be surprised how those embers can actually sit there, and then the wind gets up and just blows them around, and hey presto, you've got a forest fire, and that's the last thing we want. Let this burn right through. Got some good part of the day to go yet. The sun is up behind them clouds there somewhere, so it's mid-morning o'clock at the moment. No idea what the time is, but it's somewhere around mid-morning o'clock. So that'll do. Yeah, perfect. Right, time to carry on. Well, this is my kind of forest. This is the kind of forest I like. Following the deer trails. Always nice, especially when the sun comes out. The deer always know the best ways to go. Unfortunately, they have 4-wheel drive, and I don't. Yes, always nice. Right. Ooh, that sun feels good. I'll take that. That's a Dave trail. These are the trails I prefer. Much nicer. Right. That'll do for now. Well, I did bring my Ohuhu stove with me. My little wood pellet stove, and I've got plenty of wood pellets. However, since I already have this fire going, I will boil up some water, and I'm going to make myself some oatmeal. I think it's maple, what are they doing with it? Maple something. Where are we? Maple and brown sugar. That sounds suitably healthy. But it actually tastes very nice. Yeah. And it's oatmeal. Oatmeal has to be good for you. Yeah. Right, let's let this water boil. There. Smoke's just got me face. Thank you very much. Just have to let this water boil, which won't take long on that kind of heat. You can see bubbles forming in there already. Right, and I can make myself some oatmeal. Hopefully without too much wood dust in there. Yeah. Right. That'll do for a bit. Now that is a good cooking fire. Loads and loads of heat. You'll notice when I build a fire, got to mention this, the rock at the front, I always put a nice flat rock at the front. Makes for a good cooking thing. And if you leave a little gap, that's the heat underneath your pot too. It actually makes it really nice. Perfect. You don't want flames for cooking, you want coals, lots of them. Yeah? And that is hot. Right, I better pay attention because I think that might burn if I don't. Right. Well, that was a very nice double packet of oatmeal there. And since I was down at the creek, which is only a very short distance from here, I filled up the pot with water. That's another pot that you can use for fire. I gave it a good wash. I've seen people when they do cooking and what have you, leave the pots. As soon as you finish with them, wash them out. Because you never know when you might need that again. Yeah. So it's a good idea to make sure they're really clean. I've just cleaned that out in the creek at the bottom. That's good clean running water. It does run through a valley, so I wouldn't drink the water. I would boil the crap out of it before I drank that. However, I could if I needed to. And there's plenty of it down there. There's a stream down there. It flows most of the year. Midsummer it can kind of slow down to more of a trickle than a flow, but this time of the year still pretty good. And the fire I've let die down a bit. It's chucking off so much heat, so I need to just let that die down a bit. When it all turns into wood ash, it's great. Wood ash is actually amazing fertiliser for the forest. They love it. Right, that'll do for now. Right, now I've had something to eat and get some wood back on the fire. You want to cook with coals rather than flames, but now I've actually done some cooking, I can get back on to enjoying the campfire and the peace and quiet. It's lovely. Absolutely lovely up there at the moment. The wind keeps blowing through the trees. Don't know if you can hear that. Let's see if you can hear it. Here it comes. Like water down a river. One of nature's amazing sounds. Sitting by a campfire in the middle of nowhere listening to that is actually one of the best things you can do. Crackle of the fire and the wind in the trees. And the occasional crazy woodpecker. Woodpecker came by here just now, but I moved to grab the camera and off he went. But oh well. It's pretty cool watching it. Right, that'll do for a bit. That wind is certainly getting up. That's why I'm keeping the fire a bit smaller. And that blows through. Holy crap. And that's pine on there too. The pine tends to be a bit crackly, but keeping a close eye on it. That's why I like to have plenty of water around me.